I think our influence on consumers is twofold. One, we certainly have marketing programs that talk about our products and services and use our sponsorship platforms in a way that really engages with consumers. But I also think that one of the reasons that the brand is so influential is just that consumers interact with it every day. You can pay with your phone, you can pay with a contactless card, you can pay with a watch, all kinds of new ways. And as a matter of fact, during our Olympic program, that was the focus of our communication, where we talk about it as multi-form factor. So lots of new ways that you use Visa to pay that are things like, there was a special Olympic pin, there was gloves that you could use to make payments. So we showcase those kinds of new ways to pay to show consumers that we're always thinking about ways that we can make that payment experience really, really convenient for them. So for example, you can go into a parking garage and you can just tap your Visa card on the way in and on the way out. The payment is frictionless and seamless, so very convenient for people. If you think about also apps, so you order your Starbucks coffee on your way into the office, and your Visa card is already loaded in that app, and so again, you just pay very, very conveniently when you're ordering with an app. Yes, because even though people in Canada are very comfortable with electronic payments, there's actually still a lot of cash in the system. So that's always our opportunity, is to convert people from using cash to using Visa. There's new opportunities all the time. Just last week, it was announced that the Vancouver transit system, TransLink, is going to start accepting payments this spring. So you'll be able to just tap your Visa card to get on a bus or get on a ferry or get on a SkyTrain. So from a marketing perspective, there were a couple of things that we focused on. One was Visa Infinite and the other was contactless payments in 2017. And for Visa Infinite, we have an array of benefits that are on all Visa Infinite cards. And what we know is that if people know about those benefits, they're more loyal to their card and they want to use it more frequently. So it's important for people to know all the great benefits that they already have on their Visa Infinite card. So those benefits include concierge, luxury hotel, and dining. So we developed a completely digital campaign to make sure that people who have a Visa Infinite card know all about the benefits that they already have. I think, like many advertisers, we still believe that there's a role for traditional broadcast media. We use broadcast media when we want to drive mass awareness, particularly in live sporting events. We find it really effective. So we're a sponsor of the NHL, so we like to be in the NHL broadcast. And obviously Olympics, FIFA, those kinds of programs where people are really passionate about the event that they're watching, and we know that it's a great place to connect with them. I think my favorite campaign right now is the iPhone selfie ad with Muhammad Ali, talking about how great he is and just the fabulous photographs of individuals. And I think it perfectly communicates the benefit of the phone, but it also it really resonates with consumers in a strongly emotional way. I love that campaign. Like many companies, we are shifting our focus to digital, and one of the reasons we do that is not just because that's where our consumers are engaged, but also because it allows us the opportunity to really do data-driven marketing. We take programmatic from a media perspective. What we're working on now is taking that all the way through to creative. So having dynamic creative based on who we're targeting. So that's one area that we're looking at in digital. And I think the other is really just using social media. Our philosophy is that having a strong partnership with your agency is what produces great results. So we're big believers in working with our agencies and ensuring that they understand our business and what our objectives are so that they can help us think through the best way to market to our consumers. We're looking at how can we use the data that we have to communicate effectively with our consumers, and we engage with both our creative agency, BBDO, and our media agency, Starcom, and we're expanding that relationship out to Publicis so that we really have integrated thinking right from the very beginning of the brief. We recognize that the creative has to be developed for the platform. So even if you have one overarching creative idea, you need to make sure that you're developing that creative out in a way that's relevant for the platform and works well on that platform. We're innovating all the time. We're a payment technology company that's striving for constant improvement, constant innovation. So if you think about a refrigerator that recognizes when your milk inventory is low and automatically reorders, there has to be the ability built into the fridge to make a payment. And we use tokenization to make those payments, so we have to ensure that refrigerator manufacturers are thinking about tokenization when they're developing a fridge, which, if you think about it, is a whole new area that probably appliance manufacturers hadn't really been involved in that before. So that's just one of the many, many changes that are coming. I think that's where innovation is so important. Well, I think a lot of people are surprised at how different Canada is even from the US. For example, just simple things like we introduced chip and PIN back in 2008. We've had contactless here for many years. Those are actually new technologies in the US. So they're focused on communicating that you can use your Visa card to make a contactless payment, whereas Canadians actually are doing that every day. So our job is really just to tell them new places they can use it, not how to use it. So that's different. I think that versus other countries around the world, what always strikes me is the brand is perceived so consistently around the world, and yet the way that people use Visa can be very different. There's countries where people still go to an ATM using Visa to take out cash. So the job there from a marketing perspective is actually talking to people about why wait in line for an ATM when you could just use Visa at point of sale. I trust, for sure. We know that trust and security are paramount to our cardholders. They expect that. It's really almost table stakes, but it's something that we can't lose sight of. So that's always really important, that people know that they can use their card, it will always work, and that they can depend on it when they need to make a payment. So trust, I think, for sure. I think presence, I think we have presence. I think we have a very robust marketing investment in the Canadian market. I think that people hear from Visa, and I think that frequently and in ways that, with messages that are relevant to them, they interact with Visa ongoing. Well, the advice that I always give people is make an impact. Really think about what is the most important driver of people's perception of influence, and make sure that everything you do is focused on that one thing. And make sure that you're not fragmented into many messages, small campaigns. Take everything you have and go big.